The purpose of the book of Job. Well, traditionally, the question asked in the book was, why do bad things happen to good people? It's the problem of suffering. We can all identify with that one. But I'm afraid in the book of Job, the answers aren't encouraging. Because if you go to the prose at the start, the prologue, it's an arbitrary divine decision. God and the Satan, the good angel, after all, he's with one of the angels that God created, and the Satan it sort of gets into a little bit with God about Job is not such a good fellow, because if you take good things away from him, he'll curse you. It's a bit like in King Lear, as flies to wanton boys are we to the gods. They kill us for their sport. Not very encouraging. Go to the comforters of Job, his three friends. It's all your own fault. Punishment. Oh dear. The theology of Deuteronomy. The Babylonian exile happened because they were bad. The people were bad. Punishment for infidelity. Bad things happen to bad people. It's not supposed to happen to good people, according to the comforters. Go to Job. God is the cause of suffering because God builds you up and then pulls the trapdoor from under you. Then bad things happen. But you see, Job shows good things may happen to good people, but bad things can happen to good people too. Go to God. And God doesn't get into the argument. Personally, I think God might have to take all eternity to answer a few of the questions about why people suffer. But I think what has happened is God changes the book and the question, how do we relate to God? Satan says relationship to God's impossible. It's purely mercenary. You've got, God says, mutuality is not possible. We relate to God as God providing gifts. Go to the comforters. It all depends on our being good. There's no friendship, only rules. If I'm good, God will be good to me. If I'm bad, God will be bad to me. We control God's grace and mercy by being good or by being bad. Go to Job. Relationships impossible because God doesn't seem to be faithful or trustworthy. The pain of Job through this. But when God does come to answer Job out of the whirlwind, God cares for all the creatures, for all creation. The God of the whirlwind is free, and we have to relate to God in freedom. We don't control God, nor are we controlled by God. Let God be God. It's the ultimate message of God, of the book of Job. Let God be God, and God lets us be us. We relate in freedom. We relate in dignity. We relate in trust. And ultimately, God is trustworthy because God is with us when things are good and when things are bad.